Here we go again. Well, hey, everybody.
What's up?
Here we are again. It's been another week for you and about 15 minutes for us. But it works that way.
Yeah.
I'm letting you behind the curtain. You wouldn't know how podcasts are recorded unless I had shared these thoughts and insights with you. They don't teach this stuff in school, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know about podcast recording? You just listen to your favorite podcast about dads, because little did you know, this is just an intro
Just slip in
to
little tidbits.
podcasting. Yeah. So anyway, here we are again. It's me, Corey,
I'm Dan.
and we're your digital fathers. We're your fatherly internet figures. Your
Yes, sir.
podcasting papas. Podcasting papas.
Hey.
That one wasn't bad. I don't hate that one. Once again, hey, shout out to our guy in Belgium.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, bro? Hope you're living that good life. You should have us over one day. We are here to talk about more dad stuff. And I know that you guys have waited patiently. It's not a fatherly question anymore because it may have slipped by you like it did me. None of them were questions.
No.
So what it is now,
Scrap that.
yeah, we've scrapped that. And we've gone to daddy issues.
Daddy issues.
Because we're talking about issues that relate to daddies. So our daddy issue of the week, and I hope this, isn't an issue for you right now, but it's about bonding with the baby.
Mm-hmm.
You bring that child home, as soon as it pops out of mama, they're like,
In the hospital.
yeah, they're like chest to chest, put that baby against your skin. And I did that. Yeah, I did exactly what they said.
Yep.
And even after we got home, I did more chest to chest. And that baby did not bond with me. He took a while to bond with me. And as we've said previously, that led to some issues.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I did wrong. So once again, hey, don't come here for the right answer. Come here for what we did. I do know that eventually, he came around.
Right.
If only because I basically, am the stay-at-home dad. So he sees me more than any other human being in the world.
Yeah.
So he kind of had to come around eventually. Yeah, it can be a problem, as I've shown you. And since there's two of us here, why don't you give us your experience with the baby bonding?
I too had the same or similar problems, and I too did the same things, the skin to skin in the hospital after she was born. Of course, mama gets first dibs. That's only right. So she got hers, and then when she wanted to go and take a shower and get, all that stuff, she's like, "Here, it's your turn." So I did. I took my shirt off, or, I had my tank top or whatever. I think, no, I took my shirt off and I put her right on my chest, and we sat there and watched TV or something, just sat there and chilled out. I did it a few times, not a few, I did it quite a bit at home too afterwards. And I too felt, she would always like want mama at first. And when I would pick her up, it wouldn't help. It almost kind of made it worse.
Yeah, Daddy Dan spitting the truth.
Yeah, it took me a while. Like it was one of the things I had to work through and I talked to my wife about it a lot, and she reassured me that it would happen. Just it takes time because mama carried her, and she's always been with mama, so she's gonna want mama first. So you just gotta just be there and do for her, and she'll quote unquote come around to you. And she did, and now she's a daddy's girl. So,
That worked out
and
well.
I love it. Like I say all the time, I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse, but every kid is different, so it takes each kid longer. I mean, it didn't. Looking back, it doesn't seem like it took a long time, but at the time, it seemed like, good God, this is going to take forever. Or it took forever. As soon as it happened, I was like, God, that took forever, but finally, or something like that. But it didn't seem to take too awful long for her not to just quote unquote come around, but for her to actually like start showing affection and love for me. And I could tell, like,
My son has not favored me as your daughter has. He simply evened out the affection. I don't look at him as a daddy's boy or a mama's boy. He seems to, at this point, favor us each equally.
well, so does mine, but it just because I'm the one that's gone all the time. So when I come home, it's not all about daddy, but she's super excited and wants me to do stuff with her, and because she hasn't seen me all day, so she gets kind of excited when I come home, which is awesome. I like seeing that. She shows me and my wife both equally the same amount of love, and we both get hugs and kisses, and we both have to go do stuff with her. Like she'll grab your hand, and like, come on, let's go do this, and
So you're here to tell those dads out there that
hang in there.
just hang in there.
If you're just there and you do the normal day to day stuff for her or him or whatever, and just be there for them, they'll quote unquote come around. I don't know how else to put it, but it will happen as long as you are present and active in their lives.
And don't give up.
Yeah, and don't give up. They will eventually come around and, they'll love you.
Like he said, some of them are different, but by and large, a lot of them are going to say mama first.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to say mama a lot for everything before they ever say dada. So just expect that too. Don't let that, get you down. If your child says dada first, rub that shit in your wife's face. Just like they're like a dog with shit on the carpet.
Oh my God.
Rub it, just be like, oh yeah, just don't you love it? Don't you love how he says dada? Love it. And if it's vice versa, it's okay. It's okay. A virtual hug for me.
Speaking of saying dad and mama or daddy and mommy, my daughter is on almost 3. And it's hopefully just a little stage, but I am now dad. I am not daddy anymore. I'm dad.
So you move from dada to daddy to dad in 3 years.
Yes, for right now. Hopefully, like you said, hopefully that turns around and it goes back to daddy or whatever.
That's
years.
a big transition.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
When I'm being favorable, I do call my dad my dad. Usually I call him my father with quotation marks. But, by and large, he is my dad. So I guess that it's okay if my son ended up calling me dad. But what I would like for him to call me is father, sir.
Father, sir.
Yeah. I would like for him to preface and end every sentence with father, sir. So it's like, father, sir, can I go to the bathroom, father, sir? Father, sir, can I start eating, father, sir? Things like simple things like that. Where normally he would say like, I love you or daddy. He says father, sir.
Right.
And we're going to see how that goes.
Okay.
What you've got here with me, listeners, is a scientist. I'm going to try these things, and you're going to see how successful they are.
Yeah.
And if they work out, then boom, life hack. You pick that up from me, you run with it, and mold it to fit you, and be the perfect A-dad that I am. If enough of you do that, well, the world's going to be saved, and we can save this world together. And it's going to start with me. I'm going to feed the bleach. I'm going to spin kick them off the kitchen table. We're going to see how these things go. And, my son's either going to thrive or I will do something else. I'm not stubborn. I'm not going to stick with something if it's not working. If I start kicking him off a chair and he doesn't learn immediately, then, which, he hasn't yet, but I also haven't kicked him yet. I'm kind of
now
waiting for the right moment for him.
Now, do you think the spin kick would be the most effective kick?
It's just going to look the coolest.
What about the Sparta kick?
Okay. You know what? That seems a bit more forceful in a way.
Wait till he gets a little older for that?
Yeah, maybe,
Okay.
maybe.
Start small with the spin.
He's not 2 yet, so...
Yeah, and then work your way up to the Sparta kick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you give them a little bit of Benadryl as soon as they can take it so that they go to sleep at like 6:30. But when they get to be a little bit older, you give them a little bit more Benadryl. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's, you kick them, you spin kick them gracefully.
Right.
When they're, 1.5. And then when they get up to 3, 4, then you pull out the Sparta kick.
Right.
You're like, there are no cookies! Just kick them like straight off the counter into the corner.
Into oblivion.
Yeah, and then straight to the hospital. They fell. They fell when they were playing.
Yeah.
Just tell the doctor they fell when they were playing. And if that doesn't work for you, get back to me. And I'll think of something else. So, yeah, that's a long way of saying that bonding can be hard and it can be a long process.
Yes.
It's one of those things that it's almost like playing an instrument or something.
Yeah.
You got to put in the time.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually it will come.
Yep. Everything will click one day.
Yeah. They will. Like I said, they may not be saying dada, but they're going to be just as happy to see you as they are to see mom.
Yep.
And if you're lucky, even more so.
Yeah, because now, like every time, like when we go outside or come in, and she stays in with one of us or something, when we come in, it's always mommy or daddy, and she runs over and with the arms up, like hug and stuff. Like I said earlier, it's pretty equal. on both of our parts.
Right on.
But I know there are times where I want my mom because I'm sick or don't we whatever you. There's times where she's gonna want my wife more than she's gonna want me, and that's okay because I know how it feels.
But it is strange to me how, like in movies or whatever media, sometimes when an actor is dying, like their character's dying, they'll be like, "I want my mommy," or "the mommy," or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't get that. Like, I don't get the psychology of that. Why you would ask for your mom? Is it because the writer in that particular instance was just like mom over dad, or do you personally think like, okay, you're dying, a shark's coming at you, it's over?
right.
Are you like, oh, mommy, or are you like, oh God, or what what are you saying?
I don't know.
I don't think I'm saying oh, mommy.
I don't know. Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
I think I'm saying
But I can see where people come from though, because mom is the one that the stereotype of a mom is she's the one that raised you and took care of you when you were sick. Which I mean, it's my mom did. I mean,
I
that's
guess
what I'm
mom.
talking. I'm not talking about a death, but like if I'm super, like if I have the flu or something, and I want mom to make me chicken noodle soup, and just and it happens when one time my wife was sick and I was trying to take care of her, and I was like, "What can I do?" She's like, "Nothing." And she's like, "I just want my mom," and it's just like nothing against you or me or whatever. I want my mom, and I was like, "All right."
Okay, I see what it
So
is.
it's just because mom always took care of you, mom.
My mom's a fucking cunt whore.
Well,
I'd rather see a grave than a face.
that was my next thing that you don't have a good relationship with your
Yeah,
mom.
that's
So
probably why I have a little bit of hard time with that.
yeah,
So,
that's
okay.
that's key for
Yeah.
that pattern, that thought
Problem
pattern.
solved on that one. All that aside, the child will come. They will love you just as much or more, depending on whether you give them candy all the time or whatever.
You
I don't.
just
I don't really know
gotta.
what if influences a
I
child's
mean, there
love.
were there were. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but there were nights I come home from work just freaking exhausted, and she wants me to sit down with her and just play, and I'm just like, oh my god, I don't want to, but you know what? You suck it up and you do it anyway. It's not for well, it is for you, but it's for them too. Like you need to interact with them and be there for them to reciprocate.
That's what it
Yeah,
is about being a dad.
it's not easy, but you got to just suck it up and do it for your kids.
So yeah, the child will love you.
Oh yeah.
Now, moving on, we've got what I'm sure is going to be everybody's favorite segment, and that's where one of us for that week complains about our kid. And I mean, every dad wants or has complained about their children,
Oh yeah.
whether it's privately or to your buddies or to your dad or even to mom.
Wherever. Yeah.
I personally can't seem to complain about my son because his mom is always reminding me that he's fucking 1.5 or some ridiculous nonsense that in her mind makes it better. But here in this safe space, we're going to complain. And it's called Grind My Gears.
Yes.
I guess this week is going to be my turn. These things change so quickly.
What you got for grind my gears?
The thing that really annoys me is when I'm feeding Jackson, we always kind of feed him either by a table or in a chair with a tray in front of him.
Right.
And we'll just put whatever there. If it's like a bowl of something, we have not progressed to eating with utensils. It's still a feeding him type of thing.
Right.
But if we can, we will break something down into pieces and put it in front of him. And the problem that he has, in my mind, it's a problem, is when he's done eating, he doesn't calmly fold his hands and look up at me lovingly and just, nod his or shake his head left to right or put up a palm to kind of just, let me know that he's done.
Or kind of just gently push the food away.
Yeah, like just kind of gently push like you would at a table.
Yeah.
Where you just kind of push it in front of you. Now he will violently swipe it as hard and fast as he can in every direction. And I just, I hate it because it encourages the dogs to always hang around when he's eating.
Yeah.
And it just annoys me that I'm going to have to clean it up if they don't eat it. Because that part of me wants them to eat it because then I don't got to clean it up.
Right.
And then there's times where it was something that had any sort of substance to it and he will smush it or smear or whatever. And it gets annoying.
Yeah.
It gets a little annoying and it grinds my gears, man. It really does. And I could go so far as to say, I hate it. I hate when it happens. I don't hate him, but I hate when that happens. I'm not even going to say I hate when he does it because that still attaches a little bit of that hate to him.
Right.
And I'm not going to say that. What I do is I hate when it happens.
When it happened.
Yeah, and I wish it would never happen again.
Yeah.
I wish that he would do something. Maybe, when you touch the stove, you're like, oh, that's hot. I'm never going to do that again.
It burns a little.
Yeah. Maybe he does something. Maybe he swipes it so fast that he gets a friction burn. And then he's like, oh, that hurts. I'm never going to do that again.
Or, yeah, I don't know.
I can't even think of
Can't even think of something else.
I was going to say a splinter, but there's no splinters to be had.
No. I was thinking like maybe some sauce in the eye or something, but that could be violent.
Yeah, that could cause
that could hurt.
Larger reaction.
So I don't want that to happen, but
yeah. I just want it to be something that I want it to be whatever it needs to be to turn the knob in that head that controls understanding, and he can tie the one to the other.
Right.
And he stops doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, man, that's my gears.
Yeah.
And that's really all I wanted to say. We're not here to curse our kids and
No.
put them down and be unforgiving of their behavior. But a man needs to complain sometimes.
Yep.
I'm constantly saying to my wife, I just want a little bit of time to myself. She's like, what do you want to do for your birthday, your Father's Day? Da, 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 da. I'm like, can I just be alone? Can I just be alone? And it's the same way. Can I just complain just a little bit?
Just a little.
And hopefully you guys out there, or fuck girls, who knows? I don't know. If you like comedy, then you're going to love me because I'm goddamn fucking hilarious. I'm about the funniest person you've ever met. Unless you're hanging out with, well, I'm having a hard time thinking of somebody funnier than me. What's that guy that does Family Guy?
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane's probably funnier than me. If you're hanging out with Seth MacFarlane, maybe Chris Rock, okay, they're funnier than me. I'm not even gonna argue that.
Oh, not to get off on a tangent, but Chris Rock's special is coming out.
Or he's gonna talk about.
Yeah.
I've never heard someone build up so much fanfare around getting the taste knocked out of his mouth.
I know.
All right, so anyway, that was Grind My Gears.
Yeah.
So that's gonna do it. I'm gonna call it on that one. We really covered enough. Oh, anything new to talk about in the child's life that you want to keep us informed of or up to date on?
Yeah. So we're starting to do potty training a little bit, slowly, introducing it. Where I have a little girl I'm going to help as much as I can, but that's kind of my wife's, not her department, but like I said, I'm going to help her do it. But
she's not going to be going to the bathroom with you.
Yeah, I kind of keep her out of the bathroom when I'm in there doing my thing.
Look at my wiener. This is what guys do.
No. But anyway, sometimes she'll, like when my wife goes to the bathroom, she'll be like, go pee. So she'll run to the bathroom and sit in there with her. And we have this thing you put on the actual toilet seat that's smaller for the child to sit on so she can actually go on the normal toilet.
Is she able to get on it herself?
No, we have to put her up there and sit her down.
Did you make her ask for permission? You should make her ask for permission.
No.
You should teach her to say, Father, so may I urinate.
So one day she got up from her nap and I changed her. I think it was a couple weeks ago. I was throwing her diaper away and I was getting her something to drink and she looked at my wife and said, go potty, go pee. My wife's like, I don't have to go, but she wanted to go. So we took her in there. My wife sat her on the toilet, didn't pull her diaper down because I had literally just changed her. She sat there, and when she finally got done and got off, and my wife checked her diaper, and she had actually peed while sitting on the toilet, even though it was in her diaper. We still kind of consider that at least a baby step forward. Yeah, and I consider it a little victory in our book.
At least to me, it makes perfect sense that she would pee directly after you got her in a fresh diaper, too.
Well, yeah, that's only natural.
Yeah, that my son seems to like, he prefers to go in a fresh diaper.
Yeah.
Especially first thing in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
He gets out of that one that's full of the pee and he gets in a nice dry one and he just wants to fill it with shit or piss or whatever.
Anyway, you have some fears about, or do you want to save that for later?
Oh, it's just a matter of being afraid of the process and how hard it might be. I mean, your child has decided to just damn near teach themselves to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
but
kind of.
I'm afraid that mine is going to just, I don't know, get his wires twisted and think that he can only shit in the floor. Or like he can only piss in the bed or something. It's just what I do, just how I am. I awfulize. If there's something I have that I need to do in life, I assume it's going to be as hard as it's ever been for anybody.
Right.
Whatever it is I have to do, I'm going to assume that this will be the hardest that task has ever been. No matter who's had to do it, it's going to be harder for me in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
And it doesn't matter that people do shit that I do all day, every day, and the people are Navy SEALs and firefighters and stuff that's like hard, and I'm over here like, oh God, I got to go to the grocery store. I can't apologize for that. I just acknowledge that that is the case and move on with my life.
Right.
Because I'm just bad at life in general. And maybe one day I'll be better. Maybe you listeners will help me grow. I'm very emotionally stunted. If you haven't gathered it already, you probably will. Now, as we go off on another tangent here at the end, I just want to thank you all for listening.
Yes.
It really is. I think we've had more listens since we started recording. It really is crazy. I think we did a lot in favor of ourselves in terms of putting out those early episodes all at the same time. But if you're listening to those, hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Those things. I mean, we talk about some cool stuff or whatever, but the audio on those was just not good.
Yeah, we've since fixed it.
Yeah, we've since moved on from that. As money will often do, it's helped us to move on from that terrible sound issue. Thanks for listening to those. Thanks for listening to us. If you have, thank you for sharing.
Yep, and rating.
Yeah, if you haven't done those things, do those things.
Yeah.
Please. That's how these things grow. And I'm not doing it for money or whatever, but I want to be famous. Like, I want you all to know me and worship me and want to, hang out with me. And I'm not needy or thirsty or anything. I just want to be loved. I just want everybody to love me more than their families. And, if you can do that, then we can make this happen. We can, as I said, we can change the world. Just love me as you would anyone else close to your heart, and we will change the world. With that, when you go out there living and laughing and loving, do it all to the best of your abilities. Don't stop until someone, threatens to call the cops. We're going to kick out of here. For Dan, I'm Corey.
This is your two dads.
Check you later.